Hi everyone, today we're gonna practice how to load CSV or text file or Excel files that contain geographic informations like latitude, longitude or XY information, and then bring them into ArcMap and make a GIS file. Sometimes you only have a text file, Excel file or CSV file, but it contains geographic location, so you can still use it in GIS. So let's practice this concept. First of all, from week number 6 folder, go ahead and download lab6_data.zip and put it in your Edge drive, and then extract it. If you go inside of the folder, you can see that there is a CSV file or comma separated value file with the name of Superfund. So if you double click on the Superfund.csv file, so here are the locations of the Superfund sites in Ohio. So Superfund sites are contaminated locations by hazardous waste and identified by EPA or Environmental Protection Agency as a candidate for cleanup because they pose a risk to human health and environment. So these sites are either proposed to or currently on the list or deleted from the national priority list. If you look at this field with the name of active STA, so it says the status of the Superfund sites. Some of them are currently on the list, on the final NPL national priority list. Some of them are deleted, some of them are proposed. If you click on data and then filter, you can see the unique values. So some of them are currently on the list, deleted or proposed. So we're gonna make a map based on this field, so and put this value in the legend. So I think it's better if we make a small changes on this field. So if I add a new field here with the name of status, and then select only currently on the final NPL and say on the list, and then apply this to all of the currently on the final NPL. Then go ahead and check deleted from the final NPL and type deleted. And finally proposed from NPL, proposed for NPL. So I think this one looks better. This one kinda is awkward to put it on the legend of the final map. So this CSV file also contains information, geographic information, such as degree, minute, second for the latitude for each location, for each Superfund site, and also degree, minute, second for longitude for each location. So the next step is to convert degree, minute, second to decimal degree, because it's hard for computers to work with 3 values, degree, minute, second. So let's add a new field with the name of if you remember, the formula for conversion is degree plus minute over 60 plus seconds over 3600. So in this CSV file, let's create a new column with the name of lat_dd, which is latitude based on decimal degree, and then put equal degree plus minutes over 60 plus second over 3600. and then apply this formula for all of the locations to have latitude based on decimal degree. Similar to the latitude, you have to do this conversion for longitude. So let's add a new field with the name of long_dd equals to this value plus minutes over 60 plus second over 3600. But just remember that longitudes for the western hemisphere should be negative because Ohio is in the western hemisphere, so we have to multiply the final result by -1. So if I select this one and then multiply it by -1, so the result will be negative because it's in the western hemisphere. Okay, the CSV file is ready to be imported into ArcMap. So let's save this CSV file first. Save as lab 6 and then Superfund 2, Superfund 1 as a comma separated value. Okay, if you CSV or comma delimited, and then save. CSV, yes. So now go ahead and launch your ArcMap. And then connect to lab 6 folder so you can find the Superfund 1_.csv. If you open up this CSV file, you can see that here are FIPS code, state code Ohio, active STA. We change this to a status, on the list, deleted or proposed. So here are latitude, longitude, degree, minute, second, but it was kind of very hard for computers to work with 3 values, so we changed that to latitude, and longitude was negative. We multiplied the values by -1. The question is how we can map the locations. So if you right click on the CSV file and then select display XY data. So just remember that this is very important. X field is longitude, okay, so it's not latitude. So, and also this is, you have to select longitude_dd. Why? Because it's the column that we just generated, decimal degree. It's not long degree, it's not just a degree, it's decimal degree. And also y equals to latitude, and it should be for decimal degree. We also need to identify the coordinate system. Okay, define the coordinate system. So you have to click on edit, and then what do you think, which one, geographic coordinate system or projected coordinate system? Yes, geographic coordinate system, because the values are decimal degree, they are not length units. So you have to go to the geograph and expand the geographic coordinate system, and then select Word and then WGS 84. Okay, and okay. So it says that the table doesn't have object ID. Yes, we know that it doesn't have FID or object ID, and we're gonna change this into the shape file. So it's totally fine. So click OK, and it adds the points on the map. Okay, and if you go to the table of content, you can see that it creates a shape file, but the word events here means that it's temporary, which means that if I close the ArcMap, the shape file won't be here. Okay, so you need to make it permanent, and permanent is by export this shape file. It's not a shape file, it's not a permanent shape file. So if you right click on data, export data, and then here you can, in the lab 6 folder, you can type Superfund. Superfund underscore OH, and then OK. Now you can remove both of the CSV file and the event file. We no longer need them, and this one is permanent. The next step is to color code this dot map based on the status of Superfund site. So if you go to the symbology tab, and then which categories or quantities, we're gonna color code the map based on the status, which is a categorical variable, or more specifically it's a nominal variable. So you have to go to the categories, and here you have to select the category that shows the status of the Superfund, which is status field, and then click on add all values, which shows us all of the unique values. And then so here you can change the symbol to a bigger symbol, or maybe other symbols. Okay, and then click apply and OK. So here you can see the status. Maybe we can change this to triangle, this one on the list to a square, and this one as star proposed, different color. So the next step is to add the county level in the lab 6 data, county Ohio. So here is the locations of the Superfund sites. And you can also add the base map from drop down arrow, and then select add base map, and then here you can select maybe streets to see the relative location of Superfund sites to the major highways in Ohio. So if I change the color to hollow, and then more width, so here you can see the major streets and the relative locations of the Superfund sites to the major highways in Ohio. So you can go to the layout view, and maybe you can go back and only focus on Ohio. Go back here and add all of the necessary elements. Okay, and here the legend should be based on the status of the Superfund site: deleted, on the list, and proposed.